You don't need to show your vaccination card when you arrive in Singapore or Malaysia. You don't need to do any COVID test. Okay, hello everyone. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience traveling to Singapore and Malaysia. So I traveled during Golden Week. So I'm actually located in Japan at the moment. And as a resident of Japan and also a Jamaican, I'm going to share some tips and also my experience traveling to both countries. So as a Jamaican citizen, we do not need a visa to travel to Singapore or Malaysia. All right, so the first thing that you'll have to do is ensure that for Singapore, so I'll start with Singapore first. So for Singapore, ensure that one, you fill in a immigration checkpoint authority card. So it's called CIA card on arrival before you arrive. So you should fill it in like 3 days before your arrival in Singapore. And you can fill it in online and get a digital copy, and they can scan the barcode when you get to Singapore, or you can actually download the file and print to show at the airport. So I actually did both. And what else? All right, so on leaving Japan, so what I'd suggest that you do, because in Singapore they have the three sprung plugs, right? So what I did was I bought one of these, and I think it's mainly in like Asia, their sockets are different. So what I did was to buy this multi-socket from Amazon, and it actually has the 3 sprung, so you can use it basically anywhere when you travel in Asia. So it was very useful in Malaysia and Singapore for me. So I actually used it, and it has like several USB sockets, so you can charge quite a number of devices at the same time. So I'd suggest that first things first, you get one of these. So you can get it on Amazon. It's called the World Travel Adapter. So I suggest that you get one of these. All right, so after you fill out the document online to travel to Singapore, when you get to Japan airport, because I left from Japan as a resident, so I had to show them my residence card, and please ensure, so travel with your residence card, and please ensure that you get one of these cards before leaving Japan, because in order for you to re-enter as a resident, you would actually need to show them this card when you're coming back to Japan. So it's called a embarkation and disembarkation card for foreigner. So when you're departing, you sign it up, and they'll give you the re-entry form as well. So when you're supposed to arrive back in Japan, so this is the arrival one. I didn't get to take a picture of the departure. So this is the arrival. So ensure that you get this, or you'll have problems coming back in Japan. And most times, well, I wouldn't say most times, based on my experience when we went to the airport and we were going around, they didn't tell us that we actually needed this to fill in this form, because when I asked one of the officers, he told me, oh, you should just join a specific line. And it was when we got to the top we found out that, hey, you actually need to fill out a card once you're coming back in Japan. You have to show them your residence card. Then after that, you get ready after we leave. And the arrival card, the Singapore arrival card, is actually free of charge. So you just need to fill it in online. I'll be looking down because I'm looking at my notes so I don't miss anything. And what I'd suggest too, before you leave, I'd suggest that you get a Wise card. Why? Because for me, with the Wise card, I could actually go ahead and use it wherever I am. And for Wise, you can create several accounts for different currencies. So for example, before I left, I created an account for the Malaysian ringgit, and I also created an account for the Singapore dollars. So a Wise card is good to have. And what I noticed is that some of the hotels, the two hotels that we stayed at, they want you to actually pay by card and not by cash. So in Japan, most hotels will take cash from you once you get to the location. And so you book online, you get to the location, and they'll take cash. In Singapore, we didn't experience that. They actually wanted a card, because they actually charged I think it's $100 Singapore dollars for some deposit. So at the end, once everything is okay with your room and you have no outstanding bills, then they recharge it to your card. So I suggest that you get a Wise transfer card to use, and it's very safe. And what I like about Wise is that in order for a transaction to actually go through, they will send a notification on the app, and then you have to confirm it. So even if somebody uses your card, it cannot go through unless you confirm it, because it's going to come to your phone. So yeah, I suggest that you use a Wise transfer card. You can apply for it online. You don't have to get the physical card actually. They also have the digital one that you can use on your phone, but I wanted a physical card, so yeah, I got that. And okay, so when you get to Singapore now, the process was pretty easy at immigration. It's just that you have to stay in like one specific line, so it took like a little while, but the process wasn't too bad there. And so traveling around Singapore now, so let me give you some tips regarding that. So I would suggest that you get the EasyLink card. It's the Mass Rapid Transit card, so it's for public transportation. Public transportation in Singapore is really efficient, and like the buses come very often. Like you don't have to wait for a long time to get a bus. So I'd suggest that you get the EasyLink card. You can check online and you'll see like the different options you have. So the one that we got was for unlimited pass, because we stayed there just about 4 days, so it was unlimited pass. So we could go on the bus. You have to tap it going in, tap it coming out, and you get to keep it as souvenir. The card. What else can I tell you about it? So yeah, so we got the unlimited travel. And as I said, it's inexpensive and it's efficient, because even to go to Sentosa Island, we use our cards and we didn't pay any money. So you can get it. I would suggest that you get the EasyLink card, and also get a SIM card. So for the SIM card, we got Singletel. So Singletel, in order to activate the card, you'll need to download the Hi app, and it's pretty much easy, because for this card, this cost us like about 20 or 25 Singaporean dollars, and we got internet, we got roaming, we got minutes to call in other countries in Asia. And also this SIM card actually works in Malaysia as well. And you can also activate the roaming. So what I'd suggest though is, when you're activating your card, please stay in the store, because if you leave the store and say you probably go somewhere else and you didn't get to activate the card, if you're going to go to another store, they're going to charge you a fee to activate the card because you didn't buy it from them. So I'd suggest that you actually stay in the store and activate the card. For the card, you can purchase the card at a 7-Eleven or a phone shop, and you have several of them. So I would suggest that you look up the one that works best for you to plan based on how long you'll be staying, if it is that you're going to any other country that is nearby. So you find out if you're able to use the card in those countries. So we went to Singapore and Malaysia, so we were able to use it in both. Do though was to activate the roaming. We weren't sure how to do that. So ensure that you do all of that before, if it is that you're doing both countries. And another thing is the data. You get like 100 gig. So the data can last for, I think, 30 days. The cards though, I think, is like 6 months. So once you're not using it for 6 months, or after 6 months it expires. But you can read up more on that online. Alright, so for Singapore, so one, I'd say be mindful of your health and hygiene, especially when trying street food or even the shopping center restaurants. We didn't try any street food, but we had a bad experience, I'd say, with food, or not so good experience with the food, because I don't know what is it with the food, but we had loose balls. I'll put it at that, loose balls. So you have to be very careful. And what you can do though is check for the hygiene rating, because there is this way that they rate the restaurants or the places that you go to dine. So it's from A, meaning it's exceptional, and D, meaning you should be cautious. So be very careful of that. You can try hawker center, because hawker center, they have like a variety of dishes. And then remember, from Singapore, you have different cultures. So the Indians, the Chinese, and yeah, so there are other races there. So you can try that. It was pretty easy getting around Singapore, and it wasn't that expensive, so you have to be careful because Singapore can be very expensive. So yeah, I would say try things that you don't usually eat, and I'll definitely recommend the chili crab. That was very good. You don't need travel insurance, and yeah, so you don't need travel insurance to travel to these two countries. My second recommendation would be make sure you take your sunscreen, because Singapore is hot and humid. When I say hot and humid, I mean hot and humid. So like many people were actually dressed in like shorts, tank tops, or sleeveless, very light clothing. Ensure that you carry an umbrella because it rained a lot. Almost every day it rained, but it didn't rain like consistently. Like it will be sunny in the morning and then you just have showers in the afternoon. So yeah, I suggest that you bring your umbrellas. Walk with your sunscreen. I told you about the plug already. And the streets are very lively. I felt very safe in Singapore, similar to here in Japan. It was very safe. Like we were walking like even at 11 in the night, and it was pretty safe. The streets were very lively. They have a lot of like happy hour at the bars and restaurants, so people are always out. Tipping is not necessary in Singapore because it's actually included in your bill, so you don't need to tip. For food recommendations, I'd recommend Clarke Quay. And Clarke Quay is a river dining setting, so it's very relaxing with an amazing view. And there are several restaurants there, so you can try that. You can try the Hainanese chicken rice. It was okay for me. You can try laksa. Laksa is their dish, so it's like it's a noodle dish, but you can put different things in it, and the liquid has like a milky dairy flavor. Yeah. So places that I'd recommend that you go. Oh wait, before I go places, so some rules that you need to know. So you can't chew gum in Singapore. You'll be fined for that. And don't jaywalk in public. You'll see people doing it, but don't do it, especially because you're a foreigner. Don't do that. And do not spit in the streets. That's also punishable by law. And durian. So there's this fruit. You'd realize that at a lot of hotels, the bus, certain business places, you'll see the sign no durian. So it's a fruit. They said it has a very high fragrance. So if you're gonna buy it or eat it, you have to eat it like outside. I didn't try it though, but it's similar to jackfruit. I didn't get to try it though. So I'd suggest, yeah, those are some recommendations. And also, so this was quite surprising to me. Please walk with packets of tissue and your hand sanitizer or wipes, because most restaurants, the ones that we've been, they do not give you hand towels to wipe your hands. So in Japan and in Jamaica, we usually get like hand towels to wipe our mouths, or our hands, or sanitizer, wet paper towel to wipe your hands. They don't give that. So when we were there, we were saying, why aren't we getting hand towels with our meals? And a local saw us looking puzzled, and she said to us that actually they don't give hand towels, so you have to actually walk with your hand towels. And she was so kind. She gave us a packet of hand towels to use to wipe our hands. And sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you don't. And also look out for like packets of hand towels on tables. So that's how they reserve their seats. So if you see a hand towel there, it means that somebody is going to be sitting there. The table is occupied. And so when on the escalator, keep to the left. And the rationale is that, which is similar to what they do in Japan here. Depending on the prefecture, you stand. If it is that you're gonna stand on the escalator, you stand to the left in Singapore, and people who are in a hurry, they pass on the right. So you'll see them rushing up, so you don't block the way. And to avoid long queues, you can book. Most of the places actually have an online application or website, so you can actually book online, and it's actually sometimes it's 20 or 10% cheaper than actually paying the cash. And sometimes the places are so far where you can actually get the tickets. So we booked online, and some of the things I think we booked in advance, so you can consider doing that. And be sure to ride on one of the double-decker buses, because the view at the top is amazing, especially when you are going to Marina Bay Sands. You get a lovely like 360 view of Singapore. But Singapore is very flat, so you'll get a really lovely view of the city. Carry your passports everywhere, because some places will ask you for your passports. Sometimes you get discounts in certain places. And you can use train to go from Singapore to Malaysia. We didn't. We took a flight to Malaysia. Yeah, so those are my tips and my experiences for Singapore. And so for Singapore, with regards to the people, they don't look so welcoming, but I think that's just their demeanor. Their demeanor doesn't say that, I'm approachable. But if you talk to them, they will help you. They definitely will. So I'd suggest that you try Singapore. If you haven't seen, I did a reel on like places to go in Singapore. So you can check that out on my Instagram at Nessa Patience in Peace. I'll leave the link in the bio, and I also leave the link in the bio for like the Wise card, the link to get the adapter and all of that. Oh, so probably I should talk about like how expensive it is to to eat out in Singapore. So depending on where you go, and for me, I like luxury things. I like places of elegance, places that are clean. So we did spend a bit in Singapore, but the experience was good, especially with the food. As I said, the chili crab, guys, you must try that. That's the one food I recommend. That was the only thing that I really liked, only food that I really liked in Singapore, and the biryani combo when we went to Sentosa Island. So you can check those out. So I'll put the link to the different things in my bio. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat, in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification so you never miss a video from me. All right, so one more thing, with regard to vaccination, you don't need to show your vaccination card when you arrive in Singapore or Malaysia. You don't need to do any COVID test to leave Singapore to go to Malaysia, or to get to Singapore from Japan, and even coming back to Japan. So you won't have that hassle. So that's a good thing, and now is a good time to actually travel to those countries, I would say. Only thing you need is to ensure that you have your arrival card. And at the airport, so there are taxi services, so you can actually ask one of the persons who are in charge of one of the shops that do the SIM cards and all of that. You can get that at the airport. And I'd also recommend that you book the taxi from there. Yes, so they can actually book a taxi for you. All you have to do is they'll give you you pay the money, they'll give you a printout of the taxi number, so you know exactly, well, the license plate for the taxi, so you know exactly which car you're supposed to be going with. And it's not expensive. And you can also use your EasyLink card to pay the taxi fare, and you can also use it to buy food at certain restaurants, especially like KFC and Burger King. Also, when you get to Changi Airport, please go early so you can actually get to experience the different attractions that they have at the airport. We experienced the waterfall area that they have, and listen, guys, it was one of the most breathtaking views. Like, there are a lot of good views, amazing views in Singapore. So be sure to check that out at the airport. So first up is to take a ride on the double-decker bus to go to Gardens by the Bay. And this trip, you'll see a wonderful view. There are many activities to do there, and just to explore nature and be in nature. So this is the Floral Fantasy activity that we did. Then we took a stroll on the bayfront to Merlion Park, and we stayed and watched the beautiful spectra in the night. That was amazing. So there it is. Then we went to Sentosa Island. So Sentosa Island is a must do. We booked a tour and we traveled around Sentosa Island. Then we checked out USJ Studio, Singapore. Then we went to the beach just to chill a bit to see what it's like. And after the tour, we tried the Sentosa Sky Helix. Then in the night, we went to Clarke Quay to have dinner with a beautiful view. By the way, the chili crab is delicious. Then the next day, we went to Little India. Then in the night, we went to Chinatown to get some souvenirs. And my last and most memorable view was at Changi Airport. Look at that.